Hi guys, my name is Alex, and these are my supply and demand graphs for our Unit 3 milestone. So this is a simple supply and demand graph. On the x-axis, here we have the quantity of housing labeled, and on the y-axis we have the price of housing. Using information from SABRE, which is the San Antonio Board of Realtors, I was able to find that the average price of a home in the San Antonio area is about $240,000, and that the amount of homes sold per year is around 28,800. Using this information, we're able to find the equilibrium, and the equilibrium can be defined as where the supply of goods matches demand. So for our first scenario, we're asked to look how income and job growth affect either the supply or demand of the graph. Going back to a few weeks ago, we read an article that stated that the San Antonio business cycle is currently growing. So what that means is that incomes and jobs are now becoming more proficient and that they're increasing. This means more money for the people, and now since people have more money, they want to buy houses. In other words, the demand for the houses is going to increase, and that's labeled here with these arrows. So with this increase in demand, we now have a new equilibrium, as we have a new quantity and a price. So to sum it up, income and job growth increase demand, and thus they shift the new demand to the right. So our second scenario involves mortgage rates. Now, using research that I did online, specifically from San Antonio Express News, I was able to find that mortgage rates are increasing in the San Antonio area. And I have it written down right here that increases in mortgage rates are not appealing to home buyers, so demand goes down. Basically, and I actually asked a realtor about this question, anything that involves higher house prices, people are not attracted to that. So, and that's stated here. We have our original demand line and our original equilibrium. Once we put in the mortgage rates to play, home buyers are not going to be attracted to that. So the demand curve is going to shift to the left, which gives us a new quantity, a new price, and thus a new equilibrium. So for the past two graphs, we were able to see how demand increased or went to the right, and how it decreased or went to the left. For this scenario, we're asked to change the supply of our graph, and to do this I went ahead and went with the increase of construction material companies. So an increase of local material would shift the supply curve to the right. This is because it would be easier and cheaper to get materials. Transportation costs are reduced or eliminated, and business partnerships can form between the material and construction companies, increasing supply. So in other words, the cost to produce a house would now be cheaper. As said before, the transportation costs would be reduced, partnerships would be formed, through that supplies would come at a cheaper rate for the construction companies, and because of that they'd be able to make more houses, and that's demonstrated here in our graph. We have our original supply line right here. Since the construction companies are now able to make more houses for cheaper, the supply curve is going to move to the right. So the red line is our new supply curve right here, and with that new supply curve we have a new quantity, a new price, and a new equilibrium. The quantity would increase since the supply is increasing, and the price would go down since the cost to produce it is not as expensive anymore.